Welcome to MTN Outdoors.
Look at this rock slide. It's pretty impressive. It heads down the hill about a quarter of a mile and then up the hill at least double that. Chances are some seismic activity occurred that knocked a cliff face and broke it and sent it running down this hill at breakneck speeds. Lots of power happening here. Now, if you look at things, you can tell that this didn't happen yesterday. It could have happened hundreds of thousands of years ago. It could have happened a million years ago. But leading science suggests that men have been hunting in places like this for more than 1.7 million years.
Evidence points towards early humans butchering large animals 2.6 million years ago, but it's possible they were scavenging from the kills of large predators. There's a great history of hunting in Montana. Nomadic hunters killed mammals of the Ice Age with spears and atlatls right around here. The first wildlife protection law was passed by Montana Territory lawmakers in the 1860s, and the first regulated big game hunting season was set up in the 1870s. There was a big market for elk products like hides, antler, and ivory, so big that populations of elk began to run dangerously low. Montana established the Fish and Game Board in 1895, and the first Fish and Game commissioners were appointed under Governor John E. Rickards. By 1910, hunters had whittled down the elk population to just about 3,000 in Montana, but with conservation efforts, including transplanting protected elk from Yellowstone National Park, just about 12 years later, it was at about 8,000. Flash forward to 2022. More than 140,000 elk were counted in Montana. A little less than half that is believed to be in southwestern Montana. Right now, some say those numbers may be too high, even at crisis levels. So begins the 2024 general big game hunting season. Let's find out more.
You're watching MTN Outdoors. I'm your host, Keith Grevenitz. Thanks for joining us.
This Saturday will be a busy day for the Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Thousands of people will be out for the opening day of the general hunting season. This happens because of Montana's vast resource of wildlife and its partnership with landowners who allow hunting.
Access in Montana, especially for hunting, is so important. And we want to preserve as much access opportunity as possible. And retaining and preserving that access and those opportunities really relies on good hunter behavior and making good ethical and responsible decisions.
The vast majority of those hunters do just that. However, there are some bad apples, and preserving that access requires those bad apples to be removed.
If you encounter something while you're out that doesn't look right, if you see something that illegal activity or other suspicious activity that may be occurring, make sure you report that to Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
A quick phone call to 1-800-TIP-MONT or an online report at tipmont.mt.gov will alert FWP wardens about the situation so they can track down those bad apples. Ultimately, Montanans are fortunate to be able to hunt many months out of the year, and its 5-week general season, one of the longest in the country.
We're grateful to have these opportunities. Let's all do our part to leave no trace and to make good decisions while we're in the field, so that collectively we can all have a good experience with hunting season this year.
Montana's general hunting season begins at first light on Saturday and runs until sunset on December 1st. Near Bozeman, Chet Lehman, MTN News.
It's that time of year again when Helena Police Department counts how many deer are living within Helena's city limits. Urban deer count began on October 16th, and the HPD Urban Wildlife Program Coordinator and officers drive a predetermined route through the city at night and shine spotlights to count the deer.
The urban deer count we are doing annually gives us kind of a base idea of how many deer per square mile are actually within the city limits of Helena.
McCarthy serves as the Urban Wildlife Animal Control Officer for the city of Helena. He says by determining how many deer live within city limits, he can determine how to best manage the urban deer population.
Kind of a surprise that we're actually counting more deer this year than I ever have per night. So again, it's where are they coming from? Where are they going?
After reviewing the data, traps will be set to capture and euthanize a portion of the urban deer population. McCarthy says when populations become too concentrated, lots of problems can arise. Car collisions, property damage, and disease transmission.
And then we have the conflicts between the deer themselves. So once you start overpopulating an area, they'll start competing against each other for that space. And you'll start seeing more conflicts and aggression.
All deer that are euthanized through this program are processed and the meat is donated to the Helena Food Share. The urban deer count in Helena is still going on at this time and therefore numbers are not out. Reporting in Helena, Madeline Heath, MTN News.
I'm just heartbroken. What a wonderful mother she was. An icon for bears. There will most likely never be another Grizzly like her. It seems like everywhere you look on social media, everyone is grieving the loss of Grizzly 399.
No, it can't be her. I mean, it was the finality. Like, I instantly knew it was true.
Debbie Dixon is one of those. She's been photographing 399 since 2011 and has essentially built her career around this bear.
I loved capturing her and telling the story and telling people about her, and then consequently the other animals as well.
Dixon was devastated to hear the news Wednesday that one of her favorite animals had passed away, unfortunately dying on a road she used to cross every single day.
Because she knew roads and she knew vehicles, but this time she couldn't beat the odds that time.
That's Jeff Ewell with Zoo Montana. In his animal expertise, he believes one of two things could happen to 399's body. Either they do a necropsy or an autopsy of animals, or continue to use her as an educational ambassador.
Because she was so famous, she could be mounted and put on display at a museum somewhere, something of that sort.
Either way, communities amongst Montana and Wyoming are going to miss this loving mother and her impact to animal science.
We need to work harder towards, wildlife crossings and things like that.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
You're watching MTN Outdoors. We'll be right back.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
There was a time before man walked the earth that things happened naturally. Now, one way or another, man has interfered. Whether by waste from growth or trying to stop things that are already set in motion. Even if with good intentions, man can't help but make a splash.
Saving fish can be a dirty job, but for one Ennis resident, it's worth it if it means saving the future fish of the Madison River.
You'll make it another day. I'm standing here on the banks of the beautiful Madison River and just released a few fish which were caught in an irrigation ditch very close by.
Fish in irrigation ditches isn't a new thing. In fact, it relates to the century-old debate about water rights in the West.
My hat's off to the ranchers. These water rights have been here for 115 years or so, and it's not their problem, but it is a community problem.
Morgan Jacobson with Fish, Wildlife, and Parks tells me that local ranches depend on these ditches to irrigate fields and crops.
This issue of fish being in these canals is something that we're aware of, and it's something that there are efforts to mitigate. But I wouldn't say it's a significant impact to the population.
David McCory, the man attempting to relocate these fish for the last 10 years, says he releases at least 1,000 fish every year.
Most of the fish that wind up in these ditches are juveniles. That being said, there are multiple ditches, and so, it could be one of those situations where, it kind of adds up to, a slice of the pie, so to speak.
McCory says these fish are worth saving because they're the future fish of the Madison River.
When you look at fly fishing in this valley, it is the backbone the economy, believe it or not. I just wish we could get more people involved in this, and it's a problem going on every year, and that's the future fish of the Madison River.
McCory says the solution is preventing fish from entering the ditches at all.
There are things that are being done to mitigate it. So one is infrastructure at some of those gates. There's also a salvage effort that is permitted.
Jacobson says local ag producers want to have healthy fisheries too, and local agencies like the Madison River Foundation work to address this issue.
Super nice fish that belong in the river.
But McCory hopes to see more funded efforts to save the fish left behind.
It's just a fraction, not even 1% of the fish that are perishing in these ditches. So it's definitely an issue that needs to be addressed.
In Ennis, Heaven Van, MTN News.
As the weather starts cooling down, it's that time again for Parks and Recreation to round up the waterfowl at Gibson Park and move them to their winter home.
Our domestic ducks and geese aren't built for our winters, and so we do need to house them, and so we get them inside, and then we take care of them on a daily basis and feed and water them and keep them warm in the wintertime.
Families lined the outskirts of the Gibson Pond to watch Park and Recreation wade into the water and start corralling the waterfowl towards the end of the pond and into a transfer cage.
We get guys out there in the pond, and hopefully nobody falls in.
Park and Rec staff start at the north end of the pond and slap the water with rakes to keep the ducks moving towards the other end.
If you get too big of a gap, they will try and shoot that gap, and we don't want to have to try and do it over and over again. There's been a couple times when we've had to do it 2 or 3 times.
Luckily, the Park and Rec staff only had to walk through the pond once this year. The park's foreman says this is partly due to there being less ducks and geese in the pond than in previous years.
They're starting to get older. We haven't had a chance to really get them to replenish them, get the numbers back up. Hopefully we can do that in the future.
The waterfowl will be housed in their indoor quarters at the north end of Gibson Park, dubbed the Honker Hilton, where they will be kept warm until they're released back into the pond in April. In Great Falls, I'm Anissa Coomer, MTN News.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
You might not be able to see, but right now it's starting to snow for the first time during daytime. You're watching MTN Outdoors.
To me, the M Trail this is a special place. It's this iconic trail overlooking Missoula, and it's got the zigzags that go up, and it's just a fun place to go.
The M Trail. When you think of Missoula, it's probably top of mind. A picturesque hike up to the massive M emblazoned into Mount Sentinel. Being new to western Montana, it was a must-do for me. The chief volunteer maintaining the trail, Steve Gaskell, is my guide, along with the University of Montana's Director of Strategic Communications, Dave Kuntz.
It takes a lot of work to keep a trail up that 1,000 people a day on a weekend use, and 300 or 400 people on average every day.
I'm here at the base of the M Trail. It's 3/4 of a mile in distance and 660 feet in elevation. Let's give it a go. Steve is a University of Montana professor emeritus of exercise science. He says the hike is a good workout, but not a walk in the park. Admittedly, I'm a little nervous.
But you have to realize, 660 feet it's a moderately strenuous climb, but it's doable for everybody. You can stop at every bench along the way, every switchback, 13 switchbacks to the top, and it breaks it up really nicely.
As we make our way up the mountain, it didn't take long before my breathing was a little labored.
The first one is the longest one, so people get discouraged and then they get shorter.
Oh, okay.
So it gets quicker.
Yeah, I admit, I'm feeling it already. Yeah, I'm a little winded. I haven't been up that much, or been up that far yet. But again, it's my first time, so I need to cut myself some slack.
You'll get better at it.
Yeah, there you go. Living at sea level before moving to Montana, I wonder if not being used to the altitude is the reason.
A little bit more difficult. What's probably more difficult is if you lived at sea level, you weren't used to just climbing a lot of elevation.
Sure.
Missoula's only at 3,000 feet. And I'm an exercise physiologist, and I'll tell you that altitude doesn't become really serious until you're at about 7,000 feet.
But the fact remains, it's exercise, and getting my heart rate up is a good thing. Plus, the views are spectacular as we zigzag up the slope, especially this time of year with the changing of the leaves.
This time of year, you just look at this, the oranges and the reds and the yellows and the greens.
The M has been a Missoula landmark since 1908. At first, students put it together with stones. It wasn't until 1968 that the concrete structure we see today was put in place. I made it. I'm not going to lie to you, I do feel it. But I'm telling you what, the view up here and the exercise you get make it oh so worth it. Dave says it's the most hiked trail in Montana year-round. We get into a rhythm, and before I know it, we've reached the M quicker than I thought.
You know, the M Trail means a lot to those of us who call Missoula home, but it's also a big deal for our visitors, but also our students. You know, it's one of the first things that we do during orientation is make students available to hike the trail, work with folks like Steve to help maintain it, and it's something that everybody in this valley really takes ownership over.
Missoula is my home now, and climbing to the top of the M Trail makes it official.
Great to be a part of Mark's Montana Adventures and looking forward to the next run.
We're out here on the road in beautiful Craig, Montana.
And we're about to do a corn maze. We're so excited. I'm just a little bit worried about our height differences.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm going to be shorter than the corn. You're going to be taller than the corn.
It always seems to be a problem for us.
Yeah. So this should be interesting. Okay, we're about to go in the maze, but check out this sign. It says, ready, set, get lost. Okay, let's go. Which path should we take?
All right, we're going that way. Well, I can see over all of the corn.
You can see over. I definitely cannot. Oh, well, I can see a little bit, but not too much. That way.
That's that way.
Yeah. Do you realize this is Ernest Hemingway's face? So are we walking through his mouth right now?
I wonder. I know we're trying to get to the exit, which is over there. Maybe we'll go that way.
That way? Okay. I don't know where else to go. I feel like we're going back to the beginning. Where do we go now?
Wait.
Uh-oh. We're lost! Ah! Eric, we're walking through Ernest Hemingway's face. Okay, I think we should take the path that you wouldn't expect. So instead of that way, this way.
That way, okay. There's a path that goes way that way, so maybe...
Oh, last time you took us right back to the beginning.
we could go this way then.
I'm hoping there's an exit this way.
Yeah, let's head this way.
This way?
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
I feel like that's the entrance.
No, that's the exit. Yeah, it's the exit. I was right.
We did it! That was so much fun. We actually did it.
Yeah, I learned I have a very bad sense of direction, so.
So bad. I was depending on his height to get us out of here. It didn't work. But if you're in the area, then you should definitely check this out because it was fun.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at the next one.
At first glance, it may have looked like a group of people headed out on an ordinary walk.
Today is a day of pride where we feel recognized.
But this gathering actually represented much more.
If you don't know where you come from, it's hard to know where you're going, you know.
This Walk to Reverence event, organized by Ben Pease, offered all a glimpse into the lives of their ancestors.
We have to be mindful of these sacred areas, these lands, these burial sites.
We stand to gain so much more by learning from each other.
The walk started at the Boot Hill Cemetery in the Billings Heights and followed a trail to Skeleton Cliff, area that is rich with Native American culture.
It was strategically located along the future.
Along the way, Pease read signs explaining the history of Billings and its indigenous people.
Telling these stories together functionally, it helps us see each other. It helps us hear each other, and I feel like it brings respect and equity to this place that we call home.
And it was here where that walk through history came to its point, beneath this teepee where multiple ceremonies were held in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day.
Learning about each other, I think it only seeks to unify our people.
But the day wasn't only filled with pride, it also contained sadness.
You look back on the history of what happened to our ancestors when Columbus came.
That opinion shared by many, which is why there's a push for Indigenous Peoples Day to replace what has long been known as Columbus Day.
I hope, that changes where Columbus Day is no longer observed at all because of what our people went through.
But Pease believes it doesn't need to be one or the other, and that both holidays are a part of our history.
I believe that there's power in being able to choose what to celebrate and who to celebrate. We all have a story that carries value and power.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Comet C 2023-A3, or Tsuchinshan Atlas, was discovered last year. On its closest approach, it came just within 44 million miles from Earth, remarkably close in terms of distance in outer space. But what exactly is a comet, and why are we able to see it so brightly in our night sky? Comets are frozen leftovers from the formation of our solar system. They are made up of ice and dust. As they near the sun, they are heated and release gas in the form of a tail that stretches millions of miles through space. This comet is believed by NASA scientists to have originated from the Oort cloud, a spherical shell of icy debris on the outer reaches of our solar system. Back in September, the comet was nearing the sun. Comets struggle with close encounters with the sun. Radiation and gravitational forces can break comets into pieces or disintegrate them completely. NASA was unaware if Tsuchinshan Atlas would survive. But it was more than healthy as it made its way into northern hemisphere skies earlier this month. The views from Montana were jaw-dropping. It is exceedingly rare to see a comet with the naked eye, so people flock to dark sky areas all over the state to catch a glimpse.
Well, I just think it's a chance of a lifetime, so you got to make the effort to come and see it.
Previous estimates had Tsuchinshan Atlas in an 80,000-year elliptical orbit around our sun. But now scientists believe the comet will exit the solar system altogether, never to come back in view. So make sure to look in our evening western sky with binoculars and telescopes through the end of the month to catch this cosmic traveler. And now, you're a little more weather-wise.
Being outside is natural, especially in a place like this. You don't really have to do anything. Sometimes the fresh air and the sun is all you need. It is the human experience. It's one of the senses. There are so many ways to enjoy it.